All right, so as I was preparing the candle today, I made a mess, and I keep doing this lately. I never used to do this, but recently, whenever I prepare the candle, I make a mess, and then I have to clean it up. So I heard that this reading is for someone who feels like they keep making a mess of things. Okay, so this reading is for someone who feels like they keep making a mess of things. And they want me to start with these energy oracle cards. They're liking these days. Okay. Attachment and walking away. Interesting. We had those cards and Sun. Oh my gosh, those are the cards from the other day. Look at how they came out. I mean, you saw me shuffling and they all jumped out. So these are the cards from the other day. So it's related back to the reading from the other day, and I don't even remember what reading that was. I'd have to look back. But there was a reading the other day that had these 3 cards, exact same cards in it. So this is a continuation of that reading, it seems. And I think that was the one that was called, Are You Entitled to What You Want? Okay. So I'm going to put these off to the side. That's right here. They just wanted me to connect it back to the reading that I did the other day. But this one is for someone who feels like they keep making a mess of things and keep having to clean it up, but then make another mess and then clean it up again. And it's the same mess. It's the exact same mess. Okay. Oh, broken heart. So maybe this has something to do with relationships. You know, I think the other day that, anyways, it often does. Let's see what this card says. Okay. Okay. Grief and loss. This card shows a heart broken open, revealing darkness, emptiness, and a grief-filled tear. Oh, there's a tear? Oh yeah, the tear is down here. Okay. The hurt may be from long ago, or it may be the pain from a more recent event. Either way, a deep healing is called for now. Oh, I'm getting emotion. Okay, that tear is coming up. Interesting. Vent your feelings and release the person or situation involved. Affirm that you are reclaiming your power and peace of mind. Open your heart to the light of divine love and healing, and have compassion for yourself through this difficult process. Make self-care a priority now. As you let go of old experiences, you can open your heart to the true and abiding love that you so rightly deserve. Okay. Let's read the affirmation. I release the pain of the past and live with compassion for myself. Love heals and renews me now. Okay, wow. That was I don't know why I got so much emotion. I felt a lot of emotion, so someone must be feeling a lot of emotion right now as this comes up. They want me to look at the numbers. So they want me to read the 159 and the 279. Okay. 159. Your angels are guiding you toward information and people that will help you uncover deeper aspects of your journey. Open your mind to new pathways. Okay, and then 279. You're being asked to move beyond current challenges in order to rise up. This is a time when you will turn what feels like lead into gold. Oh, those are cool messages. I like those. All right, time to get another card. Okay. I hear another 3 cards over here, okay? Jeez. Okay, that one was very much about to come out. Oh, door to value. Wow, that one came out emphatically too. Okay. Do you want me to read it before I get the other? Yes. We're going to get them one at a time and read each one. Okay. All right. Let me find it. Door to value. So this is going to open a door to value, okay? So this broken heart was to break you open in some ways and to turn your attention toward your own self-care, okay? This is what it talked about, and to get you to a place to the healing, to experience the healing that you needed to heal in order to attract the love that you deserve. And part of that love is, is being valued, right? It's not just romantic love. It's the love of the universe. It's the love for yourself. It's the love of, that all the love that comes back to you in various ways and shows you your value. Okay. Perhaps, perhaps in the relationships, because this is talking about the mess that we kept thinking we kept making and having to clean up and make and have to clean up. And then this talks about, past relationships in the past and the pain and the broken heart and etc. And maybe you weren't valuing yourself and you needed to learn to value yourself. Okay. And these relationships have taught you that now, and you're now focused on valuing yourself, or at least you're about to be if you're not yet. And so we have the door to value. New beginnings in finance or career. This card shows a door with a gold coin on it, opening to a place that's filled with light and bright potential. Money, coins, and jewels fly toward you through the open door, revealing a golden city beyond. All of this points to the potential for exciting new beginnings or expansions where work or money are concerned. Perhaps a new opportunity is totally unexpected, or perhaps it's something you've been working toward for quite a while. Either way, keep your eyes open for this new beginning to appear in your life. Know that anything you value may be open to you now. Remain conscious and creative, and get ready to step through the door. Affirmation is, my life is opening to endless possibilities of prosperity. The river of abundance flows freely through my door, bringing me unlimited wealth. Pretty cool. Now they want me to read the 931. Okay, 931. Let me get there. 931. I don't know why this is taking me so long. It's like I can't turn the pages very fast for some reason. Okay. Angel wisdom is encouraging you to turn your forgiving heart to yourself. So maybe in relationships, you've always been the one that took the high road and forgave and forgave and forgave, no matter how many times your heart was broken. And, it's time to forgive, to turn your forgiving heart to yourself, it says, okay? Take time to let go of any grudges or grievances you may be holding onto and experience elevation and connectedness. Okay, so any grudges or grievances you may be holding on to toward yourself for doing whatever you did, for making the mess, right? This is what this is about, for making the mess, right? Over and over and over again, it seems, the same mess, right? Potentially in relationships or a relationship. It doesn't have to be romantic. It can be in work relationships. It can be in family relationships. It can be in friendships. It can be in community relationships. It can be anything, right? But it's saying, take time to let go of any grudges or grievances you may be holding on to and experience elevation and connectedness. Turn your forgiving heart to yourself, okay? And that's going to open the door to value for you. All right, next card. And I believe if this was from the reading, Are You Entitled to What You Want? The wisdom that came out there was, you're responsible to create it. You're not entitled to it, but you're responsible to create it. And so you had to learn how to value yourself to create it, right? So to create the love you want, to create the life you want, to create the value you want, to create it all. And it's your responsibility to know your value, to understand your value so you can create it. And these relationships have been teaching you that, okay? That's what I know. The World card, look at that. Okay, I'm going to just go straight to the book because the World card brings up all kinds of thoughts. But they want me to go to the book. We're using these cards for a reason, so let's go to the book. Okay. Expansion, opening up. Yes, so this leads to that. The man in this picture is looking out over a bay, above which the beautiful sphere of the earth is rotating. This card is reminding you to expand your vision and contemplate some much broader options. The world is wide, so there's a lot out there to consider. In the modern age of technology, this could specifically be referring to creating or expanding to a more global network through the internet or social marketing. Drawing this card also lets you know that you have unlimited resources available to you, and now is the time to think big. As they say, the world is your oyster, so get ready to gobble it up. I don't know if they say get ready to gobble it up. That's kind of funny. But the world is your oyster. That's what the world card always speaks to me as well. And it's funny because that's not the traditional tarot meaning, but that's what it says to me. The world is your oyster. So that's interesting. Okay, the affirmation here is, my life expands into boundless horizons with unlimited powerful energy. A world of possibilities is open to me now. And now we're going to read the 929. 929, yep. You are moving into a peaceful and serene space. Take the opportunity to replenish yourself through mindfulness and self-care. And remember, this card talked about self-care, so self-care is really important right now, okay? Next card. Okay, there it is. That one came out quietly. Not with the big bang like this one, but quietly. Woman holding a heart. 44. That's Master Healer number. That's beautiful. Woman holding a heart. Master Healer number. Energy. Okay. Let's see. Female dealing with family, love, or emotions. The woman on this card wears a butterfly in her hair and holds a lovely large heart in her hands. For a woman, this card upright could be a reflection of your own state of peaceful emotion and receptivity for love. Or it might be a message that your family issues are going to resolve. You're an institution. You're an intuitive woman who understands the emotions of life, and you're bringing that awareness to all that you do. This card upright could also indicate the presence of a female friend, teacher, or confidant who's here to help with issues of love, family, or emotion. This is an even-tempered and caring person who resonates with you and your emotions. This could also portend a new love, interest, or a friend coming your way. Beautiful. Affirmation: I am emotionally calm and peaceful, and I attract healthy and stable people to me. Beautiful. Now we're going to read the 944. 944. Angels are helping you uncover and recover gifts that have been lost or forgotten. Psychic insights and visions are highly likely at this time. And I need to speak to the psychic visions and insights because one time a commenter said that they didn't want them and they didn't want to have them. I'm not sure why, what the reasons were for not wanting them that this commenter made or had. But what I want to say about this is when you open your psychic intuitive gifts, that's for you. That's for you, okay? You're opening it for you, for your healing, it's self-care. It's part of the self-care, okay? It's for you. It's not for anyone else, so you don't need to use it in that way if you don't choose to. And it's to guide you. It's not to scare you. You know, your intuition, a lot of people ask, how do I know if it's my intuition or my mind, right? You know, my brain. So your intuition is never going to scare you. It's never going to be like set off these crazy warning bells. So I'll tell you this. So your intuition is going to send off crazy warning bells and scare the crap out of you or tell you really negative things or be really like, you know, aggressive with that. It's not going to happen. I can tell you, I experienced a warning from my intuition that, you know, was very, very powerful, but it wasn't aggressive, it wasn't scary. So that's how you know the difference, they say. And I can attest to that because I'll tell you. So one time I was, I had ignored my little voice. I had ignored my intuition, and I had, as a result, fallen down a mountain. As a result, I had no brakes as I was coming down a mountain road. I survived those things. I don't know how, angels are real. That's all I can say. Anyway, so a third time, this is like the mess that you keep making and having to clean up, right? And you're like, why do I keep doing the same thing? Anyway, so another time I was on another mountain. All three involved a mountain, I just realized. So I was on another mountain with a friend who I had just helped get over her fear of heights. We had climbed a mountain or scrambled a mountain the day before. I used to live in the Rockies, the Canadian Rockies. And we had scrambled the mountain the day before, or a couple days before, the week before, who knows, at some period before. it was quite exposed at the top, and quite steep and exposed, and she had frozen. And so I had to talk her through that, and I did, and she got over her fear. And then she felt invincible after she got over her fear. She was like, yes, let's do this, let's climb every mountain, right? So it was great. We were having a great time. So we were scrambling a mountain, the one that we lived right across the street from it. Actually, it was quite a beautiful time in my life. But anyways, so, and it had two peaks. So it had, the false peak, and then the real peak, which is often the case. And it had a big gully in between the two peaks. So we got to the top of the first peak, and, I'm competitive, and so was she. She was an athlete, and so was I. And so we get to the false peak, and I look at it, and it's springtime, and there's snow, and it's starting to melt, and it's not great conditions. You shouldn't cross. You shouldn't walk across a ridge. It's a ridge, right, over the gully to get to the other peak. And I said to her, unfortunately, I don't think we should cross today because the conditions are not great, right? And I was listening to my little voice that day. But then, she was like, oh, come on, we got to get to the peak. And, we got to get to the peak, look. And then she appealed to my competitive side. And she's like, look, someone already did it today because there were footprints. Of course, she wanted me to go first, though, which makes me laugh every time I tell this story. So I gave in, and it was her and myself and my dog. And so I gave in, and I went to take one step onto the ridge, one step. And my little voice was telling me, no, not good conditions, don't do it, right? But since I was ignoring it again, I had the vision of her, myself, and my dog, sliding down the mountain in a whatever you call that, what is that? An avalanche. I saw us. I saw the three of us going down the mountain in an avalanche. And this woman that I was hiking with, she didn't believe in any of this stuff. She thought I was crazy, but we were still friends. But anyway, so I didn't lay my foot down. I took the step, but it was midair that I saw it. My foot was midair when I saw the vision. And so then I slowly put my foot back down on sturdy ground. And I turned around to tell her, no, there's no way, we're not doing this today. And when I turned around to tell her that, she had already taken, she was about 10 feet behind me. She was already way back from the edge of the ridge. And she just looked at me and she said, this energy came off of you and pushed me back, and it just said no. And she's like, but it wasn't scary. It's just it was just pushed her back and said no. So I experienced the vision that gave me the warning, but it wasn't scary. It was just a very okay, you've ignored us a few times. You've had these accidents. If you ignore us this time, this is what's going to happen, right? Not so sure we can help you this time, right? Basically is how I felt they were saying, you have free will, but this is what's going to happen if you do this, right? And so I chose to step back, and then she felt the energy of me saying no and pushing her and my dog back so that they were safe. So it wasn't scary. It wasn't aggressive. It wasn't, when I first moved, I lived in Vancouver for a while too. When I first moved to Vancouver, there was always this psychic hand in a window, and you could go in and see a psychic, and, not to give anybody a bad name, but anyways, often you'd go in there, and people that I know that went to them, they'd say that they always told them negative things, and then they'd say, I can cleanse you, and then, it's by donation, but they want a certain amount of donation, and then they keep wanting you to come back. So they scare you to bring you back, right? They scare you, if you don't do this, and if you don't keep coming back to me, all these horrible things are going to happen to you, and whatever. And that's not how intuition operates. It's always loving, right? It's always loving is what I want to say. So there's no need to be afraid of your intuition. It will treat you with love and compassion, no matter what. Like I said, I had ignored it, in a big way twice. A human being would get offended about that and be like, oh, well, you're on your own now. Here you go, right? Fall down the mountain if you want, which I had already done once. And then Another time in a car, I guess, sort of fell down the mountain. But anyway, so this was the third time. And it was like, you have free will, but we guide you not to. And, um, yeah, if you're not listening to us, you're not listening to your gut feeling, you're not listening to the voice in your head saying, don't do it. You're letting someone else override it. You're letting your competitiveness override it. Well, let me just show you a nice little video here of what could happen. So anyway, all of that just to say, trust your intuition. Don't be afraid of it. And it's for you. It's for your guidance, okay, and your protection. It's a loving energy. It's a loving entity, I guess. It's a loving, I don't know if it's an entity. It's a loving presence. Yeah, I'm going to say presence. That's the word. All right. Now they want me to look at some more numbers. So when I was doing this one, they wanted me to look at the numbers in reverse. So for the 449. So let's look at the 449. You are in touch with angels and the Divine Mother. Allow yourself to give and receive love. Oh, and that's the woman holding a heart. You are in touch with angels and the Divine Mother. Allow yourself to give and receive love. Okay, now the 299. Let's see what that one has to say. The divine truth within you is powerful and here to light up the world. Amazing. And 319. Your presence is your power. Show up and let all your shields down, knowing that the divine is the only shield you need. Maybe that's why I talked about that so much. The divine is the only shield you need. So your heart doesn't need to be shielded. Okay? Sometimes, and they, this is a cliche, but sometimes they say your heart has to break open to open, right? So look at the past as that, okay? Your heart had to break open, to let the love in and to let the love out, right? That you have. Now I'm being reminded of another story. So when I first started doing energy work and stuff like this, I did something called transvocal revelations healings. I practiced and studied under a woman, not practiced, but I studied under a woman for a long time. And then when I was practicing, I was literally practicing on people. And I had a client who, I had a dog walking company at the time, and this client, was interested in me doing some energy work on her. And so the reason it's called transvocal revelations healing is because it's not just Reiki. It's not just Reiki. Sorry, I love Reiki. So I don't want to say just. It's not Reiki. It's Reiki, but it's with the added, like, what do you know? What do you feel? What do you hear? What do you see? It's voicing it. In Reiki, you don't need to voice anything. You just trust and allow. And but often being humans, we like to voice things and we like to know things. So this one was the energy work combined with the voicing of everything. And so anyway, so she wanted to do a session with me. So I agreed to do a session with her, but I was very kind of hesitant because she was a PhD student in psychology. And I thought, gosh, here I'm going to do this energy work on her, and I'm going to talk to her about things that I'm hearing, knowing, seeing. It all seems kind of, I don't know what, but to this PhD in psychology, right? And is she going to get value from it? Back to the value thing. Is she going to get value from this? And what value can I possibly provide a PhD in psychology? A PhD student in psychology. So anyway, so I did the session. It turned out she was going through a breakup. And she was, what I was guided to do was I was connecting her head and her heart, and I was opening the pathway between her head and her heart and trying to open that up and connect it. And I was reminded of the movie with Nicolas Cage where he plays his twin brother in the movie. And there's, he's very successful and wealthy and whatever, and, polished, I guess I'll say. And then his brother is not. And there's a point in the movie where they're talking about things, and the polished version, the polished twin, says to the other twin, I used to watch you in the playground, and you used to talk to this girl, and she was the prettiest girl in school, and everybody was in love with her. And, you would go talk to her, and she would be nice to you to your face. But as soon as you walked away, she would be, she would laugh at you with her friends. And I know you knew that she was laughing at you behind your back, but you still wouldn't talk to her every day. And I just didn't understand that. And the unpolished brother said, my love for her is my love. And no one can take that away from me, not even her. And that's what he understood as a child, he said, right? So that was beautiful. And so when I was doing this session, what was so painful for this woman is that she had love for the person still that she had broken up with. She had a lot of love for the person. What came to mind was that movie and that phrase, what came to mind was the wisdom that the pain is in withholding the love. When we break up with someone, we think we can't love them anymore. We have to cut that love off, but we don't, right? The broken heart opens up and lets the love out and lets the love in. So there's restricting the love. When you try to restrict the love, that's when it's painful. It hurts, right? We're not meant to restrict it. And the same thing goes with when you lose someone. Like when someone passes, I realized that because of my father, right? My father passed. And not speaking of him or not thinking of him or not crying and grieving him or trying not to still express love for him, because when you talk about him you express love, and when you think about him you're feeling the love, and etc. The trying not to do that so that you could we try not to do it to avoid this tear because we don't want to cry, right? So when we do that, that's what hurts, right? That's what hurts. So now I'm being reminded of another story that I have to tell you. I'm a storyteller today, apparently. About my dad and the crying part. We try not to cry, right? So my dad died when I was 14, and for the next 14 years of my life, I tried not to cry, tried to avoid feeling it, tried to, whatever. But when I moved to Vancouver, I decided I was going to feel it. I was going to deal with it. I was going to address it, and this was before I went on the path of energy work. And one of the things that I did is I tried talk therapy, which didn't work for me. But, and I was very lucky that I followed my intuition and my guidance and came to the energy work, which is what worked for me. But at the time, I remember telling my roommate I wanted to go out into the woods and I wanted to scream and cry where no one could hear me, because I didn't want anyone to hear me or see me expressing this grief, right? And anyways, so then later I was, starting to read more and read books and follow my intuition, as I mentioned, and reconnect with my intuition and with the spirit world and stuff. Because anyone who's had a past loved one die knows that you question everything and you start to wonder about everything, and the connection to everything seems, it's very fragile at the time. And anyways. So I remember I was walking to work and I said, I need a sign. I need a sign that that there is something more, that there is a spirit world. That's what I need. And so I saw a double rainbow and I thought, that's a beautiful sign. That's typically a sign for people, but I need something really, really personal, really, really specific. Okay. I need a specific personal sign. And so when I had 2 jobs, so I was going home to change from one job and go to the next job. And there was a man who was always on the street. I don't know if he was homeless or not, but he was an interesting man. And he would always want to tell me a poem for a quarter. And I'd always let him tell me a poem, and then I'd give him a loonie at the time. And then loonie is a Canadian dollar. So anyway, that day, he stopped me, said he wanted to tell me a poem. I said, sure, go ahead. He told me a poem. I gave him the loonie, and then I started to walk away because I was in a hurry. I had to get to my next job. And he called out to me and he said, wait, there's a little bit more. And this is what he said to me. And this was 1997. Okay, so this was a while ago. No, 1998. That's when I moved to Vancouver. So this was a while ago. And this is what he said to me. He said, you cannot live in darkness and not cry. You cannot cry and not be heard. You cannot ask and not be answered. So that was very specific and personal because I had said I wanted to not cry. But if I had to cry, I didn't want to be heard while I was crying. And then I specifically asked, and I was answered, right? So I'm going to say it again. You cannot live in darkness and not cry. You cannot cry and not be heard. You cannot ask and not be answered. All right. I hear that's where they want me to leave it. This is not where I thought this reading was going, but I'm happy to share. I hope you have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye-bye. All right, I thought I was ending the reading there, but after I ended it, I always give the reading some time, and I actually uploaded it, but then I deleted it because I realized I needed to address the scary part of intuition. You know, some of you may be experiencing some really scary stuff. I have clients that have come to me for Reiki that, told me some things they were experiencing that, yeah, it was scary. So there are ways to deal with that. Reiki is one of them. Raising your vibration is really helpful. Working with the blue violet flame is helpful. Working with a shaman can be helpful. I'm not going to tell you what to do because you'll find what works for you. But I heard to pull a card or to get a card on it. So I'm going to get a card on it. And I heard to get the card at the bottom of the deck. So what's the card at the, okay. Bottom of the deck, 7th Chakra, Archangel Uriel. Let's see what she has to say. Before we see what she has to say, they want me to read the number here, 941. So 941. You are being encouraged to know that your angels are always listening to you. You are never alone. Okay, so that's one of the messages they want to say, that your angels are always with you. You are never alone. So they are protecting you, and they are hearing you, and they are listening to you. So if you are having some negative experiences with, your intuition, especially people who are visual, they can have some pretty visual experiences that are not something I would want to have, for sure. And also, and there's all kinds. But know that your angels are with you, okay, and they're listening to you. And if you can't handle those things, some people can, they can. Make sure that your angels know and help and ask them for guidance on how to deal with it, okay? And then the other thing they want me to read is 149, the reverse number there. So 149. Your emotions are a real part of your being. Connecting with them help you grow. Okay, so your emotions are a real part of your being. Connecting with them will help you grow. So there could be something tied to emotions in this. I don't know how, but that's the message. So 41, let me look her up. Okay. It says spirit connections, intuition, and inspiration. Okay, so this is good. It's about the spirit connections and etc. Upright, the beautiful angel Uriel, also called the fire of God, wears a brilliant crystal crown vibrating with a passionate connection to the divine. She brings great power to your 7th energy center, which is called the crown chakra and is located at the top of your head. This card upright indicates an open and free-flowing channel of information and inspiration from the wonderful beings in the spirit world. This could also be a time of great intuition for you and guidance from your higher awareness. So allow yourself to quiet your mind and listen. Now's a great time to get connected. The assistance from spirit is great, and whether it's the presence of an ascended master, a powerful angel like Uriel, or just a loving friend or family member in spirit, their love and willingness to assist is always there. They even open you up to the Akashic records, the storehouse of all information. This connection is open now, and you will find that your own spirit and spirits of those around you will be able to provide the answers you seek and the blessings you desire and deserve. Okay. It says, see your crown chakra spinning in a beautiful violet or white light, and call upon Uriel's passion and power to help bring this connection into being. Once you're open to the incredible peace and power that spirit can bring, your life will never be the same. Okay, so I'm hearing to ask, and it's interesting because remember I said the blue or violet flame, and look at this. She says it's all blue and violet around her. So ask Archangel Uriel, and the message was they're always listening to you, right? They're always listening to you, and your emotions are part of your growth and your healing. So ask Archangel Uriel to help you with this if you have been experiencing some negative things around your intuition, because it's opening your intuition is going to help you in a lot of ways. So we want to clear that out. For me, what I do is I used to bartend. So I treat the spirit world like the people in the bar. And so what we used to say at the end of the night is, you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here, right? When we're closing the bar. So that's how I treat the spirit world. I'm like, you don't have to go to the light, but you can't stay here. If there's a darker energy or some kind of, dark energy, I guess you would call it, whatever you want to call it, disturbing energy. And I mean, it's not always something that might look scary to us, might not be dark energy. It might just be that we're not familiar with this, presentation of the light. But what I say is, if you're not of the light, you don't have to go to the light, but you can't stay here. Okay? So anyway, that seems to work for me. I don't know what will work for you. It sounds pretty simple, what I do. And it is really simple, and it works for me, and I'm grateful for that. So anyways, not sure what's going to work for you, but what I am getting from this card is it is important to open your intuition even more than you already have, and if there's some of you who are afraid of opening it, it's important to figure that out. And there is an affirmation here that says, my seventh chakra is open to its perfect, healthy state. Love and inspiration from spirit and my own intuition flow fully to me now. So that's important. This affirmation is important because it says love and inspiration from spirit. So love and inspiration, not scary stuff, right? And my own intuition flow fully to me now. And there was that message about your emotions. So part of what I want to say here, part of me feels that, if you're having negative emotions, that might create that negative experience. So it's important to feel your emotions. They're part of your being, and to, deal with that as well. Remember, so it said, your emotions are a real part of your being. Connecting with them will help you grow. So don't be afraid of connecting with those negative emotions, right? And understanding where they're coming from and what they're trying to tell you, okay? Is there anything else you want me to say or no before I end this session with you? Yes, okay. You want me to put this card here and get one more card? I really thought I was done earlier, but apparently it was not. Here we go. Oh, interesting. Financial constraints. That's interesting. Because there's door to value, but there's financial constraints. So let's see what the book says. I find this interesting. And maybe that's related to the negativity and the darkness, right? In some ways. I mean, let's just read what the book's saying. Okay, restrictions concerning money. This card shows an old-fashioned safe with little money, but lots of cobwebs and dust. Money may be tight at this time, so rein in your spending and be circumspect about the financial requirements in your life. This is not a time of indulgence, so be aware of what's really important and consciously choose your expenditures. There's a big difference between what you need and what you want. This card is telling you to take care of your needs and bide your time. Things will get better, but for now, be willing to live more conservatively and always value the money and the good things you already have. That's interesting. I'm going to read the affirmation, and then I'm going to ask for more guidance and clarity around this. The affirmation says, I can move through any cycle with dignity and awareness. I'm open to receiving increasing wealth. Money moves to and through my life, bringing benefits to all. Okay, so I'm just asking for some clarity. They want me to read the 913. 913, okay. You're being encouraged by your angels to trust in the messages and soul-based information coming to you at this time. Okay. And then 319. Where's the 319? Your presence is your power. Show up and let all of your shields down, knowing that the divine is the only shield you need. Okay. So if you are feeling financial constraints or restrictions of any sort, it's because you have some shields up, right? And that's why they want you to let your shield down. They want your heart to open. They want it to shine your love and your light out there and receive it back tenfold, okay? And they want you to open your crown chakra and let the wisdom in that needs to come, and the intuition and the inspiration, okay? And so it's saying your presence is your power. Show up and let all of your shields down, knowing that the divine is the only shield you need. Okay, so I know that can be tough, especially if you're experiencing negative things. But examine those negative things a little bit, not obsessively and not to the point where it becomes all about the negative things, but just to understand where they're coming from. So, you know, is there a fear of loss, a fear of lack that needs to be examined, all right, in some way? That's what I'm hearing. Some sort of fear of lack that needs to be looked at. Okay, now they want one last card. There it is. Community. Okay. Community. They want me to read the number messages first. So it's 417. 417. Let me go there. Your angels are encouraging you to see the magic behind your current situation. Know that nothing happens by accident. Okay? And 137. You have manifesting energy with you at this time. Believe that what you need is already with and within you. All right, and then 714. Your angels are willing to support you on your journey going forward and are reminding you that you don't have to work out every detail in advance. Call in the help you need and you will find the way ahead being revealed to you. Okay. And now 713. Oh, interesting. I just read, 714 and 713. Does that make sense? I guess it does. It's confusing to me right now for some reason. I don't know why. Anyways, there's a feeling of moving up and moving forward around you at this time. Small synchronicities will lead on to greater miracles. Your faith is paying off and your angels are inviting you to stay aligned with this positivity. All right. Beautiful. Now, what does community say? Connection with kindred spirits. There you go. There's a connection with kindred spirits that needs to happen, and you need to be open for that. This card shows 3 women celebrating, sharing ideas and supportive energy. The lights in the picture represent your ever-present spirit community as well. When this card appears upright, it indicates an association of some kind. It may be a casual connection of like-minded people, joining a club or community of some sort, or even a business partnership consisting of 3 or more entities. The time is right to make such new connections and to share intentions, whether they're personal or professional. Networking and community are important parts of the human experience, and the security and sense of connection can be beneficial to all. It's true that when several people join their intentions, it accelerates their power in the energetic realm. Receiving this card puts you on notice that the universe is sending some beneficial alliances your way. Like the happy family card, this could only also indicate a party or celebration of some kind. The affirmation is, I open my life to the wonderful people around me. I am making strong and beneficial connections in both my personal and professional life. Okay, I don't know how much sense this last part has made. It makes sense to me, but I don't know how much sense it made to you, but I hope it did. And one of the things that I'm hearing about this community is if you are having some scary experiences, this community might be able to help you. So open yourself up to these experiences, to these people, to this, to the guidance, to the intuition that leads you to all of this, okay? There are some doors that want to open in your life, all right? And that is where I'm going to leave it. Thank you. Bye-bye.